there will be good time to debrief our recent trip to Spain and Portugal. So I would like to talk briefly about what we've done, how we've done it, and report on how the bike performed and all the luggage setup and the gear. Some of you might find it interesting. There's usually a few questions on the forums about how to approach the subject, what to wear, what to gear-wise. So I think if I share my experience, some people might find it helpful. So hello from beautiful location. Went on Cornwall on the coast. It's a beautiful coastline. It's one of my favorite spots. Anyway, as promised, I promised to debrief our recent trip to Spain and Portugal. So I've got all the notes, and I'll talk about what went well or what didn't go so well. But yeah, starting from my sat-nav system, my navigation system. So this is the system I've been using. So this is the Samsung Tablet Active 3, which is mounted on a cradle and is lockable. It's an 8-inch screen, so it's pretty decent size. It's shockproof and waterproof. So I can use different systems. I can use the Osmond as a navigation system, but I have been using the Google Maps for most of the time, actually all the time. So that's a primary source of navigation I've been using. I like this system very much because it's a multi-function system. So apart from a pretty decent navigation system, it also works as a phone, tablet, so we can watch YouTube or Netflix, whatever. But there's a phrase: 1 is 0, 2 is 1. So as a double phone, so we've got a tablet we can use as a phone, and of course phone. That's a pretty good setup. So in case phone or tablet has been destroyed, we've got a secondary source of communication. So yeah, and also I can take a note or I can read the notes from the tablet. So it's a multifunction system. So that's the sat-nav system. It's been great. It worked pretty well on this trip, in the previous trip. So yeah, highly recommend it. So yeah, that's my tablet. So as I said before, I can use it as a navigation, but I can use it as a device to store my notes. So briefly about our trip to Spain and Portugal. We departed from Plymouth to Santander via ferry direct on a ferry Pont Avon. We departed on the 25th May, so a little bit pre-season, shoulder season, which was really good. The weather was warm enough, but it wasn't busy at all. So that's a good time to go to Spain and Portugal. In Portugal we're already up to 30. So the end of May it's a good time to go. We came back at the beginning of the June, before the main holidays. So that's I would say a pretty good time to go before the main holidays in France and Spain and UK, of course. We've covered a distance of 1400 kilometers, which is about 875 miles, plus minus. The daily distances, once again, that was about 125 miles, so 200 kilometers per day, which stands for about 3 hours of the riding time, so 3 hours in a saddle. Having a pillion, my son, who is a teenager, I didn't want to spend too much time on a motorbike. Of course, it's more fun for rider, not as much fun for the pillion. So I didn't want to make this trip boring for my son. So I have limited daily distances to 100 kilometers, 125 miles, about 3 hours riding time on average in a saddle. But riding in the mountains and of course off the motorways with the speed limits, etc., we would spend riding about 5 to 6 hours with all the stops and taking photos, etc. So but that's a daily time and distance. In terms of accommodation, we had 7 nights in Spain and Portugal. So we had 5 nights in Spain and 2 in Portugal, to be precise. So the first hotel, there was a hotel Infantado in Ojedo, near Portes, and that hotel was booked through the Britannic Ferries as a part of the holiday deal. To get a discount on a crossing, decided to book, or we had to book the accommodation Britannic Ferries, which was a pretty good deal, and the hotel was fantastic. So the whole deal with the Britannic Ferries and the service was really good. So they were very helpful. So yeah, highly recommended. The second night it was in Tanes, still in Picos. The hotel was called El Mirador de Tanes. In Tanes, very small village, a lovely hotel, overviewing the lake. So yeah, pretty decent stay. And the following night we spent in La Cochorola, Paramo de Sil. So heading towards Portugal, we stayed in Paramo de Sil, being traveling through the mountains and national parks. That was fantastic stay. That was a very modern villa, fantastically equipped and super clean. So yeah, really good. But very rural. Part of the plan was to stay in small places, villages. So that was the part of the plan, and that worked out pretty good. And then we got into the Portugal, Bragança, and we stayed 2 nights in Hotel Estalagim Turismo Bragança, and that was a really good hotel with swimming pool, fantastic restaurant, and the food was amazing in this place. So, and very good priced. So I can't really fault it. Fantastic pool, service in the restaurants, amazing food, was super delicious. So yeah, really recommend this place. There was lots of motorbikers starting the ACT Portugal or TED Portugal from that place, from Bragança, heading south. So yeah, there were a few fellow bikers there, but the hotel is really good indeed. And then we head back towards Spain, and we stayed at Hotel Rural El Molinero de Santa Colomba de Somoza, near Astorga. So and that was once again as planned. Very small uh, village. We stayed in a very small, very quiet village. Uh, very tranquil and yeah, a really good hotel as well. Food was really good. We watched some football. We had a great stay, and the host was super helpful. So yeah, can't really fault it. I would highly recommend Hotel Rural El Molinero de Santa Colomba de Somoza. And the last night we went back to Picos and we stayed in Casa Crescente, Boca de Huergano. The hotel I've been before. Um, Very budget accommodation, but once again, super clean. I decided to stay again this year because I really enjoyed this hotel. So for the price, you can't really fault it. So yeah, 7 nights in total, 2 in Portugal, 5 in Spain. Um, Super happy with all the hotels. We didn't have any problems with that. Yeah, 5 of 5 in terms of the accommodation. Cost-wise, some of you might be interested in costs. Of course, that might vary, depends on your needs and when you travel. The crossing is a little bit more expensive during the main season. Anyway, we have paid with all the discounts and the one night accommodation in Ohedo about £600. Um, 2 people crossing, um, 2 berth cabin, motorcycle, and one night accommodation in Picos. That was £600. So yeah, pretty good deal, I think. Pretty good discount. Um, Fuel wise, we've covered 1400 kilometers. I stated before. I would say cost of fuel €1.50. I would estimate about 6 liters per 100 kilometers fuel consumption. On this motorcycle with a luggage, two people on a motorcycle, so ride on a pillion. I think the estimated cost is about €126 or £110, British pounds. So not too bad. Not too bad. Accommodation on average, I would say about £40 per night. Some hotels were a little bit more expensive, some were a little bit cheaper, but on average about £40 per night for 2 people. So of course it came to about £280 for 7 nights altogether. Food-wise, similar. We'd spend about €40 per main meal, dinner, evening time for 2 people. About €40 on average with the tip. Without the tip, of course, it would be a bit cheaper, but that was good food, good service. So we felt obligated to tip every single time. So on average, it came to about €40, which not too bad to be honest in comparison. And the food was delicious, and there was a glass of wine or a small beer. So not too. What worked well? I've got my notes. So the luggage setup, we had 2 rear panniers, about 13 liters each. Then we have 2 front panniers, about 7 liters each. We had a tank bag, which I think was only 3 liters, so very small ones. We had top box, 47 liters. A GV top box. So altogether, luggage capacity was about 90 liters, which was sufficient for 2 of us. Yeah, so we didn't pack too much. We weren't overloaded, and I had a spare fuel as well, about 1 liter spare fuel. But yeah, 90 liters in total for 2 people, and that was sufficient. No problems. The bike wasn't overloaded. Talk about sat nav. Sat nav worked out pretty decent. We had no problems. Mainly, I've used Google Maps. Um, I'm used to this system, so no issues on that subject. Clothing, I talked about it before we went to Spain and Portugal. About the layering system, which I'm a big fan of, and that worked out pretty well. Mainly, we had a warm/hot weather, and the system worked pretty well. You could see in my previous videos, I talk it about the subject in more details, but yeah, I've used the base layer, Nox mesh jacket, MX shirt, just to keep the dirt of the mesh jacket. Yeah, my Revit sand trousers, they've got a big vents on thighs. That was good. City Adventure 2 boots, the Gore-Tex. So in warm weather they're quite warm. They don't breathe as much. So yeah, we had few days about 30 degrees. So slow it down to about 30k in small villages. I could feel the heat in my boots and lower legs, partially from the sunshine, partially from the heat from the engine. So yeah, perhaps next time I would try to get some lighter boots. Maybe not Gore-Tex, but that's the future. We've used the waterproofs just once coming back home, riding towards Santander. We went on some kind of elevation and we ridden through clouds. So there was some kind of mist cloud, which was predicted. So we had the waterproofs. No rain, it's just a very wet mist. No issues, 30 minutes, and we came out of the other side and no problem. And we just changed back to normal clothing, removing the waterproofs. So we haven't used the waterproofs much. Yeah, so the system, the layering system, the clothing we've used, mesh jackets, warm weather gear, worked pretty well. Going for longer or maybe mid-season, season, I would perhaps consider mesh trousers and lighter boots. But on a shoulder season, what we had worked pretty well. The last element of the puzzles was a motorbike. So yeah, Honda Africa Twin, 1000 cc, not 100, 1000 cc. DCT, automatic gearbox. Bike was super comfortable. I've got a custom seat, so that worked out pretty well for myself and for the pillion. That was good. The bike was powerful enough for two of us and the luggage. We are not the heaviest of the people. I'm about 76 kilos. My son is I don't know, maybe about 50 kilos. And we didn't took too much of the stuff. So the bike performed really good. Very comfortable, powerful enough for that kind of riding we do. The only issue we had, and then that was perhaps my fault, just learning the bike, I've managed to boil the brake fluid in my brakes. So going downhill in the mountains and pushing the bike, as I was prompted by my son to go a bit quicker, I managed to boil the brakes because I was using the rear brake, foot brake, to get tighter into the corners. So I was dragging that brake, not using the engine braking too much. On a manual gearbox, I would downshift sooner, and I would use the engine braking a bit more. On this bike, I was actually relying on an automatic gearbox, but learning from that mistake, that was only on one occasion, and we managed to recover from that, just cool down, and we carried on, no issues. And I've changed the brake fluids when we came back, so it's fresh now. But learning from that mistake, I started to downshift myself a bit earlier, overriding manual, overriding the automatic gearbox. I was just downshifting a little bit sooner myself. That's something I had to learn about this bike, how to ride in the mountains. So yeah, it was just a learning curve. So no drama, but that's the only issue we had, and came. Yeah, it was it was just a learning curve, something we've learned and got sorted on a go. Yes, to sum up, yeah, the trip was very enjoyable. We had a great time riding in Spain, northern Spain and Portugal. We've planned it well, and everything went according to the plans. We wanted to see all the national parks and most of the national parks in northern Spain, so we were riding through all the mountains and national parks. We wanted to visit northern Portugal, which we've had. Yeah, beautiful country, fantastic country, beautiful roads, and the people super friendly. I just love the northern Spain, this part of the world. Yeah, food is amazing as you can expect. So yeah, yeah, one of the favorite spots on this planet is the northern Spain. Yeah, fantastic riding conditions. So we'll definitely visit that part of Spain again. There's a lot more to see. Even in places I've been before, it's still fantastic. I never get bored of those views. And so yeah, we had a great time. We'll do it again. Yeah, it's highly recommended. So if you think about traveling to northern Spain and visiting picos and other national parks, I would highly recommend doing that. Yeah, that's it for today for this video. I don't want to make this video too long. I don't want to bore you with all this stuff. But if you find it interesting, yeah, just give me a thumbs up, and yeah, keep subscribing. Thank you very much.